Listen to me right now, because the Seattle Seahawks are standing on the edge of a massive franchise-altering cliff. What happens in the next few weeks will dictate the fate of this organization for the next 5 years. We are getting insider whispers about aggressive moves, shocking roster cuts, and blockbuster trades that no one saw coming. Before I break down these explosive developments, I need you to do something crucial. We are on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers, and if you bleed College Navy and Action Green, hit that subscribe button right now. The clock is ticking.
Let me be very clear about what is happening behind closed doors in Seattle. The front office is facing monumental decisions heading into free agency, and the stakes have never been higher. According to my sources, the Seahawks are evaluating the long-term future of star running back Kenneth Walker III. You heard me right. The dynamic playmaker who has been the absolute engine of this rushing attack is suddenly a major talking point. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. The real shocker, the absolute blockbuster rumor that is gaining severe traction right now, is a potential massive trade for Las Vegas Raiders superstar edge rusher Maxx Crosby. Let that sink in for a second. Maxx Crosby in a Seahawks uniform. I am hearing that the brass in Seattle is tired of just competing. They want to dominate. They want to terrorize opposing quarterbacks the way the legendary Legion of Boom used to punish people. Now, from an analytical standpoint, acquiring a generational talent like Crosby would require an astronomical haul of draft capital and a massive financial commitment. It would fundamentally alter the salary cap structure of this entire organization. But let me tell you something right now, and I want you to listen closely. If you have a chance to get Maxx Crosby, you do whatever it takes. You move heaven and earth. You do not hesitate. This defense has been desperate for a relentless, game-wrecking force off the edge for years. However, this is where the Kenneth Walker III conversation comes back into play. You cannot pay everybody. If you bring in a massive contract like Crosby, you have to make painful financial sacrifices elsewhere on the roster. Are they willing to sacrifice their offensive identity to build a terrifying defensive front? Are they willing to gamble their entire future on one monumental superstar acquisition? The tension inside the building is palpable, and the silence from the front office is deafening. They are calculating every single scenario, running the numbers late into the night. It is a high-wire act of epic proportions. But here is the absolute craziest part of this entire situation. While everyone is completely fixated on the offensive backfield and the edge rusher market, the front office is quietly plotting a completely different strategy for the upcoming draft. And the name they are secretly obsessing over right now might actually change the entire trajectory of this franchise in a major way. This is not just another standard draft selection. It is a calculated move for survival. Listen closely now. Do you really want to know who is sitting quietly at the top of their secret draft board right now?
If you want to keep getting exclusive insights like this before anyone else even hears the rumors, subscribe to the channel right now. Do not miss a single breaking update as we uncover the truth.
General Manager John Schneider is operating like a man possessed right now. The scouting reports from the draft blog reveal exactly what the mastermind is scheming behind the scenes. We are talking about a major focus on the defensive line, specifically targeting players who bring pure violence to the trenches. And there is one name that keeps flashing in neon lights across their scouting reports: Grayson Halton. This kid is an absolute physical specimen, a defensive lineman who possesses the kind of raw power and explosive first step that defensive coordinators dream about. When you look at the tape, Halton destroys blocking schemes with a level of aggression that perfectly aligns with the new physical identity Schneider wants to establish. The front office understands that to win the division, you have to dominate the line of scrimmage. They are tired of getting pushed around in critical moments. This is why Halton has become a priority target. His versatility allows him to slide across multiple gaps, creating severe mismatch nightmares for opposing interior offensive linemen. But drafting a talent like Halton is not just about adding depth. It is a clear signal that Schneider is overhauling the defensive philosophy from the ground up. He is looking for game changers, players with a relentless motor who refuse to stay blocked. When John Schneider locks onto a target with this level of intensity, he usually gets his man. However, securing a talent like Halton requires precise draft positioning. If they execute that massive trade for an edge rusher we just talked about, their draft capital will be severely depleted. This creates a massive logistical nightmare for the scouting department. How do you draft your favorite defensive tackle when you have already mortgaged your premium picks? Schneider is currently evaluating trade-down scenarios, looking for desperate teams willing to overpay so he can recoup those valuable assets. Every single move causes a ripple effect across the entire roster. If they miss out on Halton, the entire defensive rebuild could be delayed by another grueling season. The stakes are astronomical, and the pressure inside that draft room is reaching a boiling point. They know the window to compete in this brutal conference is incredibly small. But wait, because the puzzle gets even more complicated when you look at the secondary. While the defensive line is getting all the headlines, a silent crisis is brewing in the defensive backfield. Someone has to cover the elite receivers while the pass rush gets home. A crucial piece of that secondary puzzle is about to hit the open market. What happens if they let their reliable cover corner walk out the door while they are busy chasing defensive linemen?
This is where the entire master plan either comes together beautifully or completely falls apart in a spectacular disaster. The domino effect of everything we just discussed is crashing down on one critical position. According to the latest projections, veteran cornerback Trey Brown is now considered the absolute most likely free agent to re-sign with the Seahawks. And let me tell you, this is not just a minor depth chart transaction. This is a massive strategic necessity. Think about it logically for a second. If you are potentially trading away your future for Max Crosby, and you are desperately trying to maneuver the draft board to land a defensive tackle like Grayson Halton, you cannot afford to have a gaping hole in your secondary. You simply cannot do it. Trey Brown knows the system, he knows the culture, and most importantly, he brings a level of aggressive coverage that this coaching staff fundamentally trusts. Retaining him provides the ultimate safety net. It allows the front office to be hyper-aggressive in their pursuit of defensive linemen because they know the back end is secured. But here is the brutal reality of the business side of the National Football League. If Brown realizes he is the linchpin holding this entire defensive secondary together, his agent is going to demand a premium contract. They hold all the leverage right now. If the Seahawks lose him, they suddenly have to pivot and spend premium draft capital on a rookie cornerback instead of fortifying the defensive trenches. That completely ruins the plan to draft Halton. It is a terrifying house of cards, and one wrong move sends the entire offseason strategy straight into the garbage. I am looking at a front office that is juggling chainsaws while walking a tightrope. They are trying to balance the salary cap, maintain their offensive weapons like Kenneth Walker, trade for a superstar edge rusher, draft a developmental monster, and pay their veteran cornerbacks all at the exact same time. It is absolute madness. The margin for error is exactly zero. If they pull this off, we are looking at a defensive unit that could legitimately strike fear into the hearts of the rest of the conference. But if they miscalculate the financials on this Trey Brown extension, the dominoes will fall in the wrong direction, and the fans will be furious. We are talking about a franchise-defining week approaching rapidly. Every single contract negotiation happening right now carries massive implications. Are they truly ready to make these historic commitments, or will they blink when the price gets too high? The clock is ticking, and the league is watching closely to see who makes the first move.
We are staring down the barrel of the most critical offseason in recent memory, and every decision John Schneider makes will define the future of Seattle football. The potential acquisition of Max Crosby, the strategic drafting of Grayson Halton, and the urgent necessity to lock down Trey Brown are not isolated events. They are completely connected in a high-stakes game of franchise chess. Now, I need to hear from the smartest fan base in the league. Which of these three moves do you think is the most important for the team's success next season? Drop your strongest opinions in the comments right now, because I read every single one. Do not forget to subscribe so we can hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone together. Stay loud, stay proud, and I will see you on the next update.